Hi everyone! It has been a hot minute since I've last filmed a video. In this video, I'm gonna be wrapping up my 2020 with a list of my favorites. I asked you guys a few days ago over Instagram stories to drop me a category. For example, my favorite cafe, my favorite book, and then I will answer them in this video. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna be splitting up this video into 3 categories. Entertainment, we will have beauty, and then the last one is like a miscellaneous one. So we're gonna start with entertainment, and the first one is my favorite movie. So my favorite movie of 2020 actually is a movie from 2019, but it only came to Netflix like this year, and the title is Tune In For Love. So Tune In For Love is a Korean movie about 2 people who meet when they were like teenagers, and they keep losing touch with each other and then getting back in contact with each other. Many years elapse throughout this movie, and we kind of follow how their relationship peaks and descends as they meet each other and lose touch. So I really like this movie because of 3 main elements, which are the story, the pacing, and the setting. So I thought all 3 elements came together really well. While I usually prefer movies with more character development, which I feel allows the audience to get in touch and connect with these characters, this movie definitely had less of that just because of the timeline of the story, but I thought the director did such a good job of translating that to the audience and still making the audience feel. And very little exposition was used to kind of illustrate that. And I thought it really just drew attention to like what is at the essence of relationships. You know, sometimes you lose touch with people, but the movie kind of shows that like these pockets of time don't matter, and what matters within a relationship is the moments that you have with the person. Okay, so next question is actually 2 questions. It is what was my favorite class and my favorite book of the year. So both are connected, which is why I'm answering them together. My favorite class of this year was Contemporary Political Theory. I'm a huge like philo and pol theory geek. My favorite text of this class, which also happens to be my favorite book of 2020, is The Dialectic of Enlightenment by Max Horkheimer and Theodore Adorno. So the TLDR of this book is to explain why even though humans have entered into an age of enlightenment, the world is actually becoming less enlightened and more barbaric. And even though the text was written so long ago, I felt like it gave me a lot of understanding into very modern problems such as like racism, sexism, different types of discrimination, and even how modern media is actually warping our perception of what the world should be like, and how ultimately that has come to erode our sense of humanity. I will admit that it is a very difficult text to go through, so if you're looking for a more palatable read, I will recommend this book. It is No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai, and the full review is on my Instagram, so if you want to, please go check it out. Okay, so moving on to beauty, I got a lot of questions about makeup or specific makeup products or brands, skincare, so I'm just gonna tackle 2 today. The first one is my favorite lipstick of the year. Lipstick is always my favorite makeup product because I feel like even with a bare face, a lipstick really just brightens up your entire face, can pull an outfit together. So my favorite lipstick of 2020 is this B by Vanilla Lip Drop Melting Serum Stick in the shade SBR01 Maple. This has been my favorite lipstick for the past 3 years since I found it in Korea, and every single time I have a friend go to Korea, I'm like, please can you drop by Vanilla and buy this for me because it's not available in Singapore. In most of my Instagram pictures I'm wearing this. I just feel like it's such a versatile shade. It's a very nice shade of pink that's not too dark, so it's not too serious, but it's also not too light that it's unflattering on my skin tone. This is the shade, and it is super flattering, goes with so many outfits. I would say that the only con is it is quite like a wet lipstick. It doesn't really last. The moment I eat something or if I drink a cup of bubble tea, by the time I'm done with the drink, the lipstick will be gone. So it's definitely a lipstick that needs a lot of reapplication. Now my favorite skincare of 2020 is from Klairs. It is the Rich Moist Soothing Cream. If you follow my Instagram stories, you would have already seen me raving about this, but I really love this because of the price point and the quality of the product. So this one is about 30 bucks, and I used to use a moisturizer that was 3 times this cost. It was doing really good for my skin, but it just wasn't sustainable for my pocket, unfortunately, and it was fragrance as well, which I'm trying to stay away from. My skin is obviously still young and doing well, but in order to protect my skin, make sure it stays looking young, wrinkle-free, and not sensitive for many years to come, I'm trying to opt for non-fragranced items, which this is. And I think quality-wise, I love that it's super rich. It's very moisturizing, and I know a lot of moisturizers leave people feeling very sticky because our climate is very humid, but this doesn't at all. It absorbs so quickly, and my skin immediately feels much better after a long day when I use this. So this one is available like online, at Guardian, at Watsons. Very accessible and good for the pocket, so definitely my favorite skincare product of 2020. Okay, and we're on to our last category, which is miscellaneous stuff, I will start with my favorite restaurant. I don't think that this year I found like a favorite restaurant per se, mostly because a lot of the time was spent like in lockdown. But I will say that I have really grown a love for alfresco dining because I'm so busy and I'm so cooped up a lot of times. When I go out for meals, I do enjoy places that has like outdoor dining or a little bit of sunlight. So if you're interested in finding out my favorite outdoor dining spots, I do have a running list going on my IG guides, and I've added 4 of my favorite spots to go to, and I'll be adding more as I find more, as well as adding more guides for like cafes, my favorite coffee spots. So stay tuned and go check out my IG guides. Now moving on to my favorite moment of 2020. This was very hard. I really couldn't choose just one, but I chose one of the first things that came to mind, which was the premiere of Ghost Town, the film. So Ghost Town is actually a film that I worked on last year, and I got to see it literally a year later from filming, and I will attach some photos here. I think it was a really special moment for me just because the film was very special to me. I was really going through a phase of growing and finding out more about who I was, and a year later, you know, I still was. I felt like a completely different person. But it was so nice to see what that had turned into, and I was just very excited to see it all come together, and I felt like it gave me a lot to think about, not only just in terms of my own growth, but also it was a really good chance for me to reflect on myself as an actress, to look at what I wanted to improve on, what I had done well, and to assess what kind of support I would need going forward on any future films or productions. So it was both a very satisfying and reflective moment for me. And hopefully as 2021 comes around, I'm gonna have a chance to put all of this reflection to good use. If anybody is casting for a film or a commercial or a TV series, please hit me up. Please hire me so I can do what I love, and I will do my best for you. Okay, last one is my favorite quote. And I feel like I'm not really somebody who's big on quotes. I don't have that yearly mantra which I hold close to my heart and hold on to for the rest of the year. I don't have that kind of thing. But I will share something that has really struck a chord with me this year, and it's something that I want to carry into next year as well, and I hope that sharing it will help you as well. So it's a bit of a long one, please bear with me. It's actually by IU. She said in Korean, but I'll read the translation. After all, everything is pointless no matter how much it's been acknowledged by others, because I myself am not satisfied with it. So I guess I have to make myself feel content first, even though that's the toughest part of all, because I have to constantly look inside myself for answers. And because I have to face the moments I loved and the moments I hated. But if I'm able to make it through such periods and still feel satisfied at the end, then I think nothing is better than that. So I chose this quote because I felt like this year I really struggled with and am still struggling with self-esteem. I think especially being in this industry, it's very hard to not conflate your self-esteem with metrics or with the approval of other people. You know, every social media influencer ever will say like, followers don't matter to me. But I feel like at the end of the day, when it is such a big part of your career, and your career is such a big part of your life, these metrics are bound to at least matter a little bit, even if you don't want it to. And the best you can do is to internalize and understand like who you are and why the numbers do not contribute to that. It's not as easy as like black and white, yes, followers matter, yes, followers don't matter. It's really like a journey of up and downs, and I feel like this year my social media growth was at an all-time high, and I'm gonna be honest, because of that the numbers did get to me for a while. Like on certain weeks I wouldn't be doing as well, I wouldn't grow as much, and I would feel like, what am I doing wrong? And when I go for castings, it's hard not to take rejection personally. It's hard to separate it and say like, okay, maybe I didn't get this role because of different reasons. Like I didn't suit the character, or I didn't look the part. It always feels personal, always feels like, oh, like, I'm not a good actor. Why am I so bad now? Like, why was I getting this amount of jobs last year and then only this amount this year? And it got to a point where I realized I need to stop looking outwards for approval and for signs that I'm doing well, and I need to have my own personal measuring cup of what I want in life. And at this juncture, what I have landed on is growth. I have to understand that I can't do every single thing I want all at once because I will burn out, but I can focus on little tasks at a time, and as long as each task is going towards my personal growth, I have to learn to be okay with that. And when I am okay with that, when I'm okay with who I am personally without letting external factors affect that, then I feel like that is when I will also be most optimized for growth, right? Because I will be able to take criticism, I'll be able to learn from my experiences without taking it personally. So going into 2021, my hope for myself would be that I learn to accept the good and the bad as it comes. It's not like the definition of who I am, like a success or a failure, and to just grow as I go. So I will wrap up my favorites of 2020 video here, and please share with me in the comments below what you're hoping for 2021 or your favorite thing from this video. And thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!